Greetings, my name is JC,
And I'm Ian.
and this is the Gamers Gaiden. In this episode, we're going to be talking about rhythm games. Before we get into that, though, Ian, what have you been playing?
Um, Not a whole lot.
Yeah, I've been a little
It's
busy this
been,
week as well.
but I have had some time to get in a couple games of League of Legends with you, JC.
Indeed.
And
Yep.
you've been playing a lot of League of Legends,
Yeah, a
even though you've
lot.
been playing very few video games.
Very
But
true.
other than League, I played Final Fantasy VII on the Switch.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a decent port.
hmm
The only thing that I kind of don't like is the speed up mode.
Oh, okay. That's only in the battles, right?
Nope. No,
Oh, okay.
everything except for the any of the cinematics.
Okay.
It cuts you out at that point.
Gotcha.
But yeah, anything else you can speed through. And
Why don't you like that feature?
it's crashed a couple of times on me.
Oh, okay. I have heard that the version on the Switch is one that has had a few bugs that are like known that they've never really bothered to fix.
Yeah.
So okay, cool.
So I just have not since the second crash.
Right.
I haven't used it again.
Gotcha.
But they do have like a infinite health kind of thing.
Right.
So you can sort of more so play through for the story, because that's really what I'm there for at this point.
Right.
I just want to go through the story again. It's like watching your favorite movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Especially since the remake is gonna for the first episode's gonna come out this year, so
we'll see.
it probably will.
We'll see.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend over the weekend actually, and I was saying this is gonna be Kingdom Hearts 3. It's never gonna come out, but you know,
No, it's not going to be Kingdom Hearts 3 because Kingdom Hearts 3 came out.
did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a copy, JC. We've been over this episodes ago.
I know, I know.
Tell me about your League of Legends experience before I get really mad.
So I've been playing a lot of League. I've been playing solo queue and flex queue.
I hear you're Iron 4 now.
No, I am silver 1, bitches.
Woo!
100 LP to go, and then I'm in my promos for gold. And I got my first quadra kill.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I got it with Zyra.
How'd your ADC feel about that?
I don't know. They weren't on comms. Frankly, I don't care. They died before I got the quadra kill. So,
Support.
yeah, support. Best support. So yeah, gonna have to try and get another one of those and maybe make it a penta next time. But yeah, excited about Road to Gold. And that's basically all that I've been playing. Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, there are some things coming out though, so I feel like this is. I mean, we're sort of in a little bit of a dry period. We don't have a ton of things getting released, but this week there's a Plague Tale that's coming out,
Okay.
which looks really really cool.
Mhm.
And it's a little bit more grounded, kind of set. I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff on it,
No, I
but
haven't.
set in like France during the Black Plague, and a lot of like sneaking and
Mhm.
yeah, it looks really cool.
Oh,
If you're
okay.
into anything like that. It's like a teenage girl and her young brother.
Oh,
And
okay.
you're kind of like leading them through the plague-ridden city.
Right. And what's the name of it again?
Plague Tale.
Plague Tale. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, I believe it's on PS4 and Steam
Okay.
or Epic Store. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it's
Um,
just the Epic Store.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, check that out because I think that's out on the 14th.
Okay, cool.
So May 14th.
Awesome. So we want to get into some rhythm games?
Let's talk about some rhythm games.
Awesome.
Because
Okay.
we're the perfect people to talk about rhythm games.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, probably more warranted than sports.
Yeah. Sports. So which was last week's episode if you want to check that out. So yeah, this week's we're going to talk about some rhythm games. So I guess before we get into it, we're going to talk about I find it kind of interesting that there's you can kind of categorize many of the rhythm games, and this isn't true for all of them, but many of the rhythm games into basic types. And the kind that we sort of thought about branching them into was the Simon type games, which is like that repeat game.
Like a call and response.
Yeah, and well, the Parappa the Rapper would be an example of that. And then you got the musical bar style, which would be like DDR or Guitar Hero.
Yep.
And then there are more recently than originally more abstract games, and the what's that game called? The running game.
Oh, Bit Trip Runner.
Bit Trip Runner is an example of that, where it's not exactly a rhythm game, but it still has a lot of rhythm elements to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what's interesting about it is that like over time, as it's been more defined, things have definitely changed.
Oh, big time.
Because like the first one that I ever experienced, this is certainly not the first rhythm game, but the first rhythm game that I've ever experienced was Parappa the Rapper, and it
Yes.
was on a demo disc. But my friend actually got the original game, and we tried to play through it. I don't remember being overly good at it, but I didn't give it too much time. But it was like very much like a Simon type game. It'd be like kick, kick, punch, and you'd have to hit the buttons that correlated with those.
Yeah, it was a
Um,
lot of the like call and response. You know,
yeah.
you get the initial um, blow,
Hmm.
and then you follow up on it afterwards.
Yeah.
And what was neat about it was that they had that rating system.
Hmm.
So you'd get when you actually do it perfectly, and you get that cool a couple of times,
Yeah.
you can just like freestyle and just
Yeah.
rack up points. I mean, the freestyling was all over the place, and
Yeah. It was a
you
little
just like
primitive.
mashing buttons,
Hmm.
and it didn't really have to make sense or be in time or on rhythm.
Yeah.
You just kind of like racked up as many points as possible, and if you messed up too hard, it kicked you back down to good.
Hmm.
But no, it was I thought Parappa the Rapper was. I
Hmm.
mean, it was if you remember from games ago, it's one of my favorites.
Music games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has one of my favorite video game songs.
Hmm.
And then, of course, you've got like what was neat is that with Parappa, you have a bunch of different musical styles as well.
Hmm.
Like it's not just like, even though he's Parappa the Rapper,
Right.
you're not just like
It's not just rap.
yeah, you
It's
have like
rapping,
various
but like
different styles of rap as
hmm
well. Um,
yeah. So it was just interesting because originally there were these style of games, and then it kind of, at least we're speaking in a North American perspective here,
that's
and
true.
through ours as well a little bit. But there are more peripheral style games where all of a sudden there's a large period of time where there'd be like the mid 2000s to the early 2010.
Where pretty much every rhythm game you were purchasing came with some giant piece of plastic that you had to keep in your house somewhere.
Yeah. And now not so much because you have games like Crypt of the Necro Dancer, Ape Out, and the Bit Trip Runner game that are more abstract, and they are rhythm-like games and music-like games that you can just kind of like play on your PC, and you don't need all these peripherals and stuff
Yeah,
like
or
that, which is kind of
even
neat because
something that
it's
is a little bit more in line with a classic rhythm game with that the like music bar,
Mhm.
like Beat Saber,
Right.
which works with peripherals that you already have.
Yeah.
You don't need an extra.
Yeah, because
You
if
don't
you
need
have a
the
VR
dual
set,
sword controllers.
yeah, you most likely have the Move controllers or I don't know what they're officially called, but like the wands for the Oculus Rift as well.
Yeah,
You most likely have those because a lot of the games work with them
and
in
require
VR.
them.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, so you have some pretty cool peripherals, and then you have some very tragic ones. Like what was that one game you were talking about for the Wii?
Oh, I mean, the peripheral was still the Wii remote, but it was Major Minor's. Oh,
Majestic March.
Majestic March.
Yeah,
Major Minor's Majestic March.
yeah, where you just
It,
you. I watched a video of it, and it's just got like this woman going like this with the baton. It's just like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
yeah, it's horrible. If
Yeah,
you ever wanted to know why we never really got another Parappa game, this is why. Because it
yeah,
was made by the same creators, the same
hmm,
artist and designer.
yeah,
Made this piece of hot garbage,
yeah,
which I'm sure had potential,
yeah.
but
It looked more child friendly from the video that I watched.
I mean, all you have to do is this.
Hmm.
Success, yay.
Yay, you're doing
Yeah,
great.
you're doing the thing.
Yeah, yeah. But let's get into some titles that we've played along the way in the rhythm genre. So the first one, which we've already kind of talked about, is Prop Rappa, and related to that is your other.
I'm Jammer Lammy.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, it's what was really neat about Lammy was it was the same style of
Hmm.
gameplay, but if you weren't, I don't know, if the whole like rap thing didn't really grab you,
Right.
it was guitar.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, especially I find like in North America,
Hmm.
um yeah, like as a kid growing up in the suburbs,
Yep.
you you know guitar people, right?
Mhm.
Like, or I played guitar, like everyone played guitar. So it was something that you could identify with really easily. And it hit so many different genres of music. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
your first level, one of my favorite songs in the game is funk.
Mhm.
And it's a great funk song. And then you've got like some way harder like metal songs much later in the game
Right.
that are just like button mashing craziness.
Yeah, and like I mentioned in a previous episode where we talked about music, Jim or Lemmy, I didn't actually really know about, and now that I've seen it, I probably would have enjoyed that game a little bit more because I did enjoy Space Channel 5. I thought that game was kind of cool.
Space Channel
That's,
5 was really interesting. But
yeah.
again, we're like shifting right to a different genre.
Hmm.
And
It's still
it
got a similar core engine where it's kind of see and repeat.
yes.
So it kind of kept the same aesthetic that way because there's like Bust a Groove as well, which is very similar in the same era where you can just
And Britney's Dance Beat.
yeah, in Britney's Dance Beat,
Do not
um
forget about Britney's Dance Beat.
where you have to like see a pattern and then memorize it and repeat it and then get longer and longer strands. And what I found interesting about Space Channel 5 specifically was that they kind of, not that it had a story, but they kind of like added a purpose to it rather than just
Yeah.
like Parappa the Rapper was just like, yeah, I'm gonna drop some sick beats, and then this one is
Well, hold on.
okay.
Don't undersell because Parappa had a story.
Did it?
Yeah, you were trying to win the hand of Sunny Funny, and
Okay.
everything you were doing was
Yeah, see, I
trying
totally
to
missed that.
date this wonderful sunflower.
Oh, okay.
And then Jammer Lammy, she was trying to be I think no, she was trying to get to a gig.
Oh,
Her
okay.
band was supposed to be playing, and it was her trying to get there and being late
Okay.
for it. So it was like everything she was doing was stuff that she was running into along the way. Stories were there.
Mm-hmm.
They were definitely there. I can't remember the story in Parappa the Rapper 2. I have played it, but it didn't resonate as hard.
Yeah.
But no, I see what you're saying. That like Space Channel 5, you're actually saving people
Yeah.
and killing aliens
Yes. Yeah,
with
you're
with dance.
yes. Yeah, which is kind of a neat gimmick in itself. But the thing I found difference in I found Space Channel 5 a little bit harder to like get good at. Just because it's beat and it seemed a little delayed or something to me. I'm not sure if it was just me or if it was the game, but yeah, I found that whenever I first tried to play that game, like I was able to beat the first few levels in Parappa the Rapper like fairly easily whenever I first tried it, and
Hmm.
then Space Channel 5 had a little bit more of a difficulty curve for personally myself, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if it was due to just the type of rhythm was different, or if it was just the game itself. But yeah, I always remembered that game because I don't remember getting very far in Space Channel 5. But
I remember not too horrible at it, but then
mhm,
again, maybe I was. I found I think it might have been a symptom of the era
yeah,
because a lot of the I still find going back and playing Parappa the Rappa, I feel like I have a decent sense of rhythm,
hmm,
and it always takes me a couple times to
right,
get back into that game's rhythm
right.
because
Okay,
it's
I see what
not
you're
on
saying.
beat.
Hmm.
It's not as you would want it to be.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
as
as on
it's
beat as like some of the
like
more
Guitar
modern
Hero
games. Yeah,
or
yeah, because they were kind of learning.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, they're still trying to figure it out, and to me I find it's off. If you disagree, let me know.
Hmm.
I'm totally interested to hear, but I feel like for me it was just that era of games is you have a lot of stuff that wasn't quite on beat, and then
Hmm.
kind of as we start evolving and moving into like you said, the more modern stuff,
Hmm.
it's way more on rhythm,
Right.
and that's a big turning point. But I don't want to get too far ahead because
Hmm.
we've got a whole bunch of titles to kind of
Yeah.
wind through here.
So you've got two more titles. Why don't you go into those
I
two?
do two more titles with crazy peripherals.
Hmm.
This is my crazy peripheral section. Samba de Amigo, which I think you've played as well.
Yeah, I've played it very briefly. I did enjoy that game. I thought it was neat because like I never actually had the game, but the store where I bought my Dreamcast had it to rent, and I did rent it once and play it, so it was kind of cool.
With the maracas and the weird sensor bar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it was neat.
Hmm.
But again, a weird peripheral. But at least it was a little bit more manageable than the next one, which was Donkey Konga.
Yeah, this one I've never played, but I've seen people online play it.
Okay, I will say Donkey Konga is an absolute like blast.
Hmm.
We had so much fun playing it. First and second ones. I mean, who wouldn't want to play the bongos to Blink 182? But then again, that's the weirdest thing about a lot
Right.
of the rhythm games, especially North American rhythm games.
Yeah.
You have a weird like mechanic,
Hmm.
which you're then playing these songs that don't necessarily fit
Yeah.
with it.
That's what I found weird about a lot of the Japanese rhythm games, especially like DDR, because they have some English tracks in the North American releases, but
Yes. And
a
the English
lot of
tracks
them
kind of don't fit.
sometimes, yeah,
I feel like they're
unless they
really,
make it exclusively mainly English tracks. Yeah, yeah,
and that's what I found with Donkey Konga was it was a little bit weird. I mean, they like transposed it well,
hmm,
like it worked. But like if you're having the best experience with this, you're playing with four other people,
right.
but
Three
then
other
you have
people.
four bongos.
Hmm.
Where
That's
the hell do
expensive.
you put four bongos? It's not even the price, it's where do you put them?
Right.
I think I still have four of them,
Oh
like
wow.
stuffed in a cupboard somewhere.
Damn.
Like they're for sure in a box, packed away.
Yep.
I have no idea where. I'm sure I still have them because my wife absolutely loved that game.
Right.
But yeah, like it was the where do you put it?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, like a lot of other things. Like I know DDR, at least with the mat that came with it,
Yeah.
you could fold it down a little bit.
Yeah, and even the metal mats, if you have them, they are fairly thin. So, like,
Like
you could,
slide it behind a couch, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Tuck it in a closet.
Hmm.
But I mean, those bongos were like probably like that, but
Oh,
like
I thought they were only like about this big.
well, they're but each one was two,
Yeah, I know.
so it was like probably like that,
Hmm.
about yay high.
Yeah.
And now you've got four of them, so it's like that. I like, yeah, it's just awkward,
Hmm.
so awkward. But I hear you played a ton of DDR, JC,
Yeah, so I didn't play DDR until I went to college, but
or Foot Donkey Konga.
Foot Donkey Konga. So whenever I went to college, I met this one friend of mine who had DDR for the PS2, and I had never seen the game before. So
Oh,
I played it over at his place and really, really enjoyed the game. Was absolutely terrible at it, and then eventually, after a couple of months, bought my own copy, and then subsequently, like, kind of just went around and like I have all the PS1, PS2,
wow.
like games and the 360 ones and the original Xbox one actually. But
Do you have a metal pad?
no, I don't. No, I
I
never
was
had
gonna
them.
say
I
it's behind the couch.
while I it's not. I don't have one. While I was playing the game, I didn't really I was in college. I didn't really have the money to put down on like a $400 mat because I wouldn't just want to get one of the cheap like $150 metal mats because they would probably just break. So they were fairly expensive, and you still can spend a lot of money on them.
Oh, I
Yeah,
imagine.
but I've always really really enjoyed this game, and it kind of like I was kind of like just mad about the rhythm genre before, and then this kind of like really turned up piqued my interest on it because like Guitar Hero hadn't really like been as popular. I think only the first one was out at this
Yeah, and it
time.
wasn't really a thing until the second one, I
Yeah,
think was
the
when it
second
really
ones
caught
were
on.
really really took off, and I thought it was really cool because like as I started collecting a bunch of the different versions of them, there's like a lot of different track listings because we didn't have like the DLC where you could just like download extra songs. Although the
No, it
360 ones
was
did have that, but
yes, that's
yeah,
your advent of DLC though.
yeah, and
Horse armor.
yeah, horse armor. The The games are just really, really fun. I really enjoyed the Supernova and Supernova 2 versions of it. X and X2 were all right, but I still always kind of, I think our group always kind of went back to the Supernova 2 and Supernova, just because the songs were better. And it was kind of neat because some of them had a lot more Japanese songs and some of them were like more catered to North American. Like Supernova 1, for example, had like a lot of English songs, like even David
Okay.
Bowie on it was
Oh,
on it and
neat.
stuff like that.
That'd
Um,
be weird.
and it was kind of neat because it just didn't because of the compilation of songs it wasn't that weird.
Okay.
Yeah,
It like fit in with what was
exactly.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And it really kind of introduced me because like into college I started getting into more techno type style music, and a lot of it was like dance and techno or house music and stuff like that. So it kind of like broadened my horizons while I was playing these games for different genres and stuff like that. And yeah, I haven't played the game in years because they haven't really released the game since I think the latest North American release that was like
2012?
yeah, it was the latest one that I can think of is the PS3 one, but it didn't look that great, so I never ended up getting it. Um and they're still really popular in Japan, but it seems like anything that like kind of came over here in the mid 2000s has kind of like just pained in popularity due to other games, and then they're still popular in Japan because they still have the arcades and stuff. And
Yeah, whereas we don't as much have the
yeah,
arcade. You don't really see arcades too much. No, I mean they are kind of making a bit of a comeback.
yeah,
So maybe we'll see a little bit of a resurgence.
maybe because like I remember there was two in our area. There was two actual DDR machines, and one of them was at a theater, and one of them was at like an arcade. And the one of them they got rid of it because I think the mat broke, and
Mm,
then you could only go to the other one, and they eventually sold it.
yeah.
And like really, like the people who were constantly playing on those arcade machines are just people who are like expert to the power of 10, like they were ungodlike. Like
Yeah.
they're just way better than anything that any of my friends could ever do. But yeah, it's really cool, and it's kind of neat because I always found that with Dance Dance Revolution, it kind of invented the music bar type of dance, so rhythm games, and then as you get into like Guitar Hero or Beat Saber and different games that are like them, they're very, very similar, but just tweaked a little bit. For example, like the notes come at you in Guitar Hero, but then it's like this way instead of this way, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, um, and it's very, very similar, and it's just kind of like a rhythm game engine that's kind of like been tweaked and reused a lot to very, very good avail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the thing was like DDR never grabbed me
Hmm.
because I'm not a big dancing person.
Right.
I like the music was cool, but the dancing I never really had much interest in. Whereas when I saw Guitar Hero,
Yeah.
I was like, shit, this is for me.
Hmm.
This is great. Like, yeah. So
Yeah.
Guitar Hero,
Hmm.
it was just like you're yeah, you're standing there and just like shredding an awesome song.
Yeah.
And it to me that was a little bit more of the experience that I wanted. I didn't mind being out there in front of people
Right.
and performing.
Hmm.
Whereas I felt like a bit of a goon with DDR.
Yeah.
Whereas like Guitar Hero,
No,
yeah,
I
sure,
totally
like
get
I
that.
will for sure stand up in front of like 50 people and rock out some More Than a Feeling or whatever.
Right.
Like
Yeah. I whenever Guitar Hero came out, I was not interested in the game at all, and then Guitar Hero 2 came out, and I think what really piqued my interest about the second one was like that one had a lot of more expansion packs, and the music just seemed a little bit more interesting. There were definitely interesting tracks in the first game, but I thought that the second game was just
the second one had Freebird,
mhm,
which was awesome.
yeah.
Like you're not going to get any better than that. And like that was the thing. Like around the same time when you were playing DDR,
Hmm.
that was Guitar Hero was the game that we would play.
Right.
Like if someone's having a party,
Yeah.
there's probably going to be Guitar Hero,
Hmm.
and I don't care how drunk I get, I'm still gonna rock Freebird. I will fumble my way through the solo, and I will feel like the coolest person in the world.
Yeah, I'm a part of a
Yeah,
band.
I killed it. But no, it just for me, Guitar Hero was the one. Like that
Hmm.
was the experience. Like Rock Band came out. We picked up Rock Band because it was an obvious
Yeah.
transition, but it didn't resonate the same
Oh, okay.
for me. I mean, it was still cool to play with everybody.
Yeah, that's the part that I liked the most about Rock Band in comparison was that there were the four different instruments rather than just the two guitars, and you could include more people at the same time, and it
As
kind of
long as you
felt
could find a person who wanted to do each thing.
that is true. Yeah, we used to always like switch back and forth because the drums was kind of like the component that no one in our group wanted to play as much. So
Okay, so we
yeah.
we kind of had the opposite issue, is a lot of people wanted to drum,
Hmm.
but nobody wanted to sing.
Oh, okay.
Nobody wanted to sing. So that was always a hard like space to fill.
Right.
Um that's I honestly had way more fun with Rock Band on the PSP
Oh, okay.
because it was more of a kind of like audio surf
Hmm.
where you're just like pressing the buttons as the line comes down
Right.
and you're switching between the different instruments.
Oh, okay.
And then it'll highlight that instrument as you're playing it. So you'll hear it just a little bit louder, like the guitar is a little bit louder or
Oh,
the
okay.
vocals are a little bit louder.
I didn't know. I actually haven't played the PSP version. I didn't know that you were switching in between instruments. That sounds kind of interesting,
It was
actually.
it was really cool. The only thing that sucked about it was mostly downloadable. I think it only came with
Oh, okay.
uh,
Yeah.
6 or 7 songs, and the rest you
Even.
had to pay for.
Oh, okay. Like even with like Rock Band and Rock Band 2, like there was a fair number of songs on those, but like the majority of the music was all DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I spent like probably $400 or $500 on Rock Band on just music alone without the peripherals. It was
It
insane.
was like the train simulator of the early 2000s.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
could spend so many $100 on it and
yeah,
have zero skins to show for it.
yeah, yeah. Oh well, didn't have to win matches in that one. You just had
That
to beat songs.
that's true, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. But
One thing that I did find interesting with like the keeping with the guitar themed rhythm games was Rocksmith. And that
yeah,
that game was kind of neat. My friend bought it because it actually attempted to teach you the guitar through a video game, which was
yes.
kind of interesting. And I didn't play it that much because I don't really have much aspiration to play the guitar. But it seemed kind of neat. It actually like built you up by adding in more notes and stuff like that, and actually tried to teach you a song, and it seemed kind of neat. I'm not sure if it's the best approach, but because I know like with lessons you start like very basic, and then it's like you learn like your notes and your chords and stuff like that.
Yeah, you kind of amp up to it, whereas
Yeah,
this is just like,
let's play a song and like
but this would be a little bit more rewarding for like an
yeah.
amateur
I could see
guitar
somebody
player.
like segueing from like Guitar Hero Rock Band to Rocksmith to actual lessons, and
Yeah.
then actually like getting something from it instead of just going from like, yeah, I can. Don't worry, guys, I can beat this song on expert. Yeah, yeah, but Rocksmith was kind of a neat idea
Yeah,
for
it was a
sure.
really cool concept.
Yeah. And then to the aspect of what your group didn't like doing, singing. There were all those singing games,
There was so
SingStar.
many SingStar games and Karaoke Revolution as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. This is the Konami version of them,
Yep.
and they were kind of neat. I think the
It's just glorified karaoke.
that is true, but one thing that correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm
I
pretty
will.
sure the like singing in SingStar was at least more tonal accurate than Rock Band, because in Rock Band I remember like putting it on the hardest difficulty and just going and then
Yeah, as
like
long
it
as you
would
follow
you're
the
doing great. It's
follow
like,
the
oh
line.
really, I've never heard the song before, but I'm just repeating the tone that the artist is singing.
Yeah, you don't even have to repeat the tone. Like you
Yeah,
don't have to be in the same key. You just
I
have
think
to.
you have to be in the same key.
Oh,
You
but
just
not the same
you don't have to say the lyrics basically.
or the same pitch.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
I'm not
you
sure,
can
it's
be
been
you
years
can be a
since.
C somewhere.
Hmm.
So yeah, like you just have to Yeah, I don't know. I didn't play any of the SingStar games for the reasons that
Yeah.
are obvious.
Yeah.
I only sing in my car or the shower.
Yeah.
Bring
Singing
me
in the
SingStar in
car.
the shower. Yeah, I'll kill that by myself every day.
Yep. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, on the before we move too far away from peripherals, we got to hit a couple of important ones. First one that we did forget to mention was Guitar Hero on the DS,
Oh, right.
because
Yeah.
that was amazing.
That was actually that looked really really cool because it had 4 buttons on the bottom of the
Yeah,
console.
you'd
Yeah.
you'd put the 4 buttons into the like Game Boy Advance slot, and then your like the strum bar
Right.
was actually a pick stylus,
Right.
which you would have to strum on the bottom screen.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually like you're holding it like this and like strumming while watching the.
The notes go by on the second screen.
Yeah, it
Oh, that's
was
really cool.
really cool.
That's really neat.
I had a really good time with it. I grabbed it. I know when I was working at the mall, it dropped to, I want to say, $5,
Right.
and I grabbed it immediately.
That's a
And
pretty
I
good deal.
had so much fun with it because like to me when I saw it, I'm like, that's kind of dumb. But yeah, I grabbed it and it just like totally threw me.
It
I
clicked
had
as soon as you
such
tried
a
it.
good time with it.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go home and play it now. But yeah, before like we'll keep on peripherals. DJ Hero.
Yeah, this is a game that I really wanted to try, but have never actually gotten the opportunity to actually play it.
Well, the next time you're over, JC, I'll bust it out
All right, cool.
because it's great. And what I loved the most about it was how practical it was.
Yeah.
It took. It had a really cool peripheral. Like it was a good size.
Yeah, it was an actual like turntable size.
Yeah, well, I mean, much smaller, but like similar. You know, and you had a lot of the elements of it, like the channel switching, like a crossfade,
Right.
that kind of stuff, and the like scratch pad, as well as the notes,
Yeah, there's
as well,
like
much
4
like
buttons.
the
Yeah.
Guitar Hero controller. But it actually separated.
Oh, okay.
You would separate it into two pieces, so you could put it. It was smaller, so you could put it away someplace reasonable.
I see.
And that is important to me as a person who likes to put his stuff away,
Yeah, it's not like those big drum sets that just like
or those giant fucking bongos.
damn bongos.
Damn bongos. But no, DJ Hero was really good, and it was kind of a natural progression because you had the. I feel like Guitar Hero, you were kind of like right at the end of. Your kind of like alternative high, where you had a lot of really good alternative music at that point, and then all the music that had come before that. But you still had a lot of the kind of band scene, and then as DJ Hero came out, you were really moving into much more of a like club kind of scene.
Yeah.
A lot more EDM was popular, and even though they did again, they had some really great older songs on there as well as some great newer stuff.
Right.
It was just a natural progression almost.
Yeah, that's kind of the cool thing about a lot of the games from I would say from like the Dance Dance Revolution games to like the Rock Band, Guitar Hero, and even this game.
Even into Dance Central, because that's really the main rhythm game at this point. I would kind of argue like main big or Just Dance or one Just Dance.
Just Dance, yeah. But what I was saying is like there's a lot of genres of music to cater to many different tastes.
Yes.
And there's songs that like even if you don't really like that genre, you can probably still like enjoy the song because it's not like nails on a chalkboard to you.
Yeah, and you're having a good time with the game. So it's just like, oh, this is the next level. It's not so much like, oh, I got to listen to this song. It's oh, this is the next level. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get to play this song now.
Right.
And I think this is our last weird peripheral one, but Taiko Drum Master.
Yeah.
Which I only got to play a very little bit of. I had one friend who imported one for the PS2.
Yeah, because this game is really big in Japan.
Yeah, it's huge.
In the arcades, they have the actual like huge drums in front of the screen where they're like I've seen people like do both the drums at the same time, and it's just like
and just
what the hell?
like hammering away.
Yeah,
it looks so cool, and it was a lot of fun to play. It was very fast, and I was horrible. I think I tried it a couple of times, and I'm like, I'm going back to Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
but it was still really neat, and it's something that we just don't see very much of.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think we're actually getting a version for the Switch. I feel like that's coming to North America.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I might check that out then if that's true.
Something to look up.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's
Look that up, editor JC.
editor JC fact check it, super fan Rachel. Um, yeah, Taiko Drum Master. It was fun.
Cool. I guess this is more of a music game than a rhythm game, but Luminous is a game that I thought I would mention because it's kind of in the same vein and genre. It was
I'm gonna nod, but
portable.
I didn't play it.
Yeah, it was kind of the same lines that like they made Tetris Effect, so it's kind of the same lines that you're
Okay.
creating music with like the puzzle game, but it's kind of like a hybrid genre, and I really enjoyed the games, and there is music aspects to it, so I figured I would mention them. But those are my
That's
portable contributions to the rhythm games because I do know about this next game that you played a lot more of, but I
I
never.
love this game.
Yeah, I've never really managed to get my hands on this game, and I don't think I actually knew about it until after it was like available. So it's like now I just have to find it. But yeah, Elite Beat Agents.
Elite Beat Agents. I
Hmm.
mean, it was such a weird concept. I was right on the edge of talking about this one for weird games
Yeah,
because you're a team of cheerleading, like sort of buff cheerleading dudes
yeah,
in suits.
yeah.
Your leader wore a cowboy hat.
Hmm.
Actually, your leader kind of switched out, but one of them wore a cowboy hat.
Right.
And yeah,
Okay.
you would cheer people on and help them through some kind of hard situation. All from like a girl struggling while babysitting to I think a baseball player wanting to. Oh no, it's like a baseball player trying to save the day.
Yeah.
They were really really weird, all of them, and like but the song selections were also like all over the map.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like it was set in one genre.
Right.
It
Okay.
was all over the place. Like there was an Ashley Simpson song in there.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing more early 2000s than saying there was an Ashley Simpson song in it. Um, yeah, and then like you had some like 70s stuff and like it was fairly poppy,
Okay.
but I think there was a Blink 182 song in there as well.
Damn.
I mean, yeah, there you go. But it was really neat and there was actually a Japanese game that this was kind of based on
Okay.
called Uenden. I
Okay.
think there was more words ahead of it, but Uenden was the one. That's usually what we referred to it as. I had a friend who imported a copy of it,
Oh, okay.
and it was the same idea. You're cheerleading dudes
Mm-hmm.
helping people through tough situations, but all the songs were Japanese.
Oh, okay.
But again, it was all like tap controls,
Right.
and it was a lot of fun. Like you're just like popping these balloons on screen in time with the music,
Yeah.
and then you've got the like ball you roll back and forth, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was great, man.
Yeah, those games sound similar to like there's the Vocaloid games that are tap rhythm games and like the new Persona
Oh
music
yeah, the
games
dancing.
are very similar as well. They kind of use like the same like aesthetic and similar type of engine.
I haven't played any of the Persona dancing games,
Hmm.
but I really do want to because I love the Persona games.
Yeah, and like the for the Vocaloid games, like the PSP, for that actually has a whole bunch of them
Oh really?
where they're like you basically you're seeing notes and you got to tap the buttons at the right time and stuff like that. Yeah, so there's those games as well that are kind of neat because they're kind of to me a sort of a hybrid between the a couple of different rhythm game genres where it's mainly it's the um tap rhythm games, but yeah, so there's those games as well.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's and then we kind of get into slightly more abstract.
Yeah, you showed me this game and it looked kind of interesting, and like I didn't really get it at first, but until like you started explaining it to me, it was interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of what I find neat about these is that you don't necessarily understand the rhythm part of it
Hmm.
unless you're sitting down and playing it.
Yeah, and this game is
Bit Trip Runner.
right.
Yeah, like it isn't and it is.
Because there's music, and then you're kind of you're not set to a grid and hitting buttons on certain parts of the grid, but you're moving the joysticks back and forth to try and make sure you hit
Yeah, you're
the.
like you're running,
Mm-hmm.
like it's an automatic run across the screen, and then you're jumping and dodging obstacles, and
Mm-hmm.
your jumps and dodges are like punctuations to the beat going on behind you, and then you're hitting these like little power ups
Right.
that power up the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you start off with a very faint music behind you, and as you're hitting these power ups as you go, the
Yeah.
song gets like more instruments get added.
Mm-hmm.
It gets louder and more lively.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a decent one. I think there's 3 of them now.
Oh, okay, cool.
I
Are
I,
they all
I
on the
enjoyed the first
PS4
one.
or do you know? The first one's
Uh,
on the PS4 at least.
yeah, they probably all are
Mm-hmm.
at this point. I think I played the first one on PC.
Oh, okay, cool.
Think I have it on Steam. And maybe it's on the Epic Game Store.
Yep,
Maybe
maybe.
for free. Who knows? Uh,
I don't know why we're trying to sell the Epic Game Store when we hate it, but yeah, okay, moving
I
on.
think I'm more so just making fun of it constantly.
Fair enough.
Even though they're our new overlords. But another one, I think
I mean,
I'll
I'm playing Borderlands on a PS4, so I don't really
yeah,
give a
I'm
shit.
playing whatever. If it's exclusive, it's on console. But yeah, I'll mention this one now because it's also a little bit abstract. Crypt of the Necrodancer,
Yeah,
which we were literally kind of arguing about
a little bit.
because it was JC's like,
I
I don't
haven't.
get it as a rhythm game, and I'm like, you know what? I think you'd have to play it. Like just watching it, you don't quite understand.
It seems like I've never played it, but I've seen people play it on Twitch and I've seen videos of it. It seems more of a turn-based game to me, and that was kind of the argument of it. It's like, okay, but then you showed me and explained to me that like if you're on the rhythm of the heart beating, then you get combos, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
it
okay,
ups your coin multiplier,
right.
which the more coins you get, the better
So it
the
certainly
items you can
helps you to
get.
keep in rhythm, but you don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to.
No, you could have
Yeah.
horrible rhythm and
But I am looking
probably
forward.
still have fun with it.
Yeah. I am looking forward to the new one for the Switch though, because there's a Zelda theme one coming out, and
Yes.
that's like that looks amazing.
But it's that I feel like we were talking about earlier, is this is kind of the natural evolution of the rhythm genre
Mm-hmm.
is to move away from a more static like to a bit more like freeform experience.
Right.
That's why you have things like Bit Trip Runner, even though it is a static line and you're running and
Yep.
you're still hitting those.
Yeah, that reminds me of the "You Have No Internet" game.
Yeah. Or you've got Necrodancer, which, like you said, you don't have to be,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to be, and then you've got stuff like Ape Out,
Right.
which you've got this like cool jazz playing in the back, and then as you're like throwing humans around, you're creating these great punctuations to it with like you'll get the symbol.
Right.
You'll get like a big crash.
Yeah, you're kind of creating music as you're doing things.
Yeah.
Sort of like Luminous and the Tetris Effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's and that's the thing. They give you an option to by having music as a focal point of the game,
Yeah.
and you want to be on rhythm with it.
Yeah, and just to be clear, not that it's like an important aspect of the game, like something in, I don't know, Oxenfree or Life is Strange, but like it actually is like more of an actual like game component, like gameplay component of it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's in your face.
Hmm.
It's not like it's not an accent to the game.
Right.
It feels more like that's a part of it.
Right.
That's yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'll throw out a casual mention to Laser Life because it was done by the same team that did Bit Trip Runner,
Right.
and it's interesting. It's very the similar like line
Okay.
where you're hitting these boxes essentially. You're hitting boxes. You're controlling 2 separate lines with
Mhm.
the thumbsticks, and you're trying to hit them. They're somewhere in a circle,
Right.
and you're kind of like hitting them as you go, and they'll be in different spots and positions. I guess maybe a little bit like Beat Saber, but just not with my hands.
Right.
I mean, still
Just
with my
with the
hands,
joysticks.
with my thumbs, with my thumbs.
Yep.
Yeah, but it has a neat little story. You're rebuilding memory, like you're some alien creature rebuilding
Hmm.
the memories of a dead astronaut.
Hmm.
So it's kind of neat to sort of see the story unfold.
Right.
The music is really cool. As far as I can tell, it's not. It was all kind of made for the game,
Right.
so it's not like you're not playing. You're not playing another Blink 182 song
Hmm.
as you go through space. Yeah, no, it's really cool. You can generally pick it up for fairly cheap too. I think I got it for like $5 on PSN.
Oh, okay.
It's not overly expensive. It's pretty decent. Check it out if you're into that at all.
Yep.
But I know you have one final big mention.
Well, I've talked about this a little bit on the channel. The game is
Have you?
beat a little bit,
Okay.
just a bit. I still am playing it, but I guess I'm just not really mentioning it. But
We just assume.
yeah, we'll just assume. Beat Saber. This game is awesome because it kind of like brings me back to both the Dance Dance Revolution games for your arms instead of your feet, and to an extent, like the to an extent, sort of like Guitar Hero and stuff like that too, because you're hitting the notes coming at you, so it's kind of like a
Yeah.
blend between the two games.
I mean, in my brain, this is a natural progression for the major peripheral
Yeah,
games. I feel like people don't want giant piles of plastic peripherals in their house anymore.
hmm
And this is the perfect way to do it
yeah,
because it's all in a virtual space.
especially since a lot of the stuff is now like moving to digital.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a lot easier to use the components that are kind of mandatory for the
Download our game now, then go out and buy a $30 peripheral.
yeah, probably $100 peripheral at that. Like, I don't
That's
know.
true. Yeah, the dual light swords.
Hmm. Yeah, but
I'd
Beat
probably
Saber
still
is a
buy it.
great game. I've talked about it multiple times on the channel. You're hitting boxes in a pattern, in certain ways, like left, right, up, or down, and to the beat of the music. As you play in harder levels, like there's the like a basic mode, and there's like 5 difficulty modes, and if you're on the 4th difficulty mode is expert mode, which is the mode that I can play on. The
Humble brag.
yeah. Well, I can't really play Expert Plus, so there are a lot better people than me. But the game adds in more notes basically and makes it more to the actual like uh to beat per beat to the songs and stuff like that. So you
Okay.
are actually getting something out of it, much like Guitar Hero and Dance Dance Revolution. If you've played either of those games, where like you actually are hitting most of the notes in the guitar and stuff like that. You're not playing like a real guitar, but you're still tapping per note,
It
so to
feels
speak.
more similar to it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's unfortunately you have to play in VR, but it's amazing that
Unfortunately, fortunately, you have to play in VR.
let me finish. Because some people can't play it, but fortunately, like it makes it that much better. Like I would say, if you're kind of on the fence at this point, there's enough games to get a headset. If you're on the if you're a no, then you're probably never gonna get one. But
And you don't need a TV.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just don't even need the television on to play it.
No.
But yeah, it's an amazing game. I really hope that they make new content for it sooner rather than later. I know they are planning on making more DLC packs, but there's quite a bit of songs, but like I can get through all of them in a couple of hours, so like playing it longer would be nicer in a session.
I'm not
But
gonna lie, I wish they weren't boxes.
oh, okay.
I wish it was like enemies coming at you and just like cutting them down. I feel like that would be so much more fun.
Mm.
I mean, way more violent and weird, but
Yeah, I think it would be more of a like almost like a shoot 'em up then if you did that. Like kind of like uh yeah, you almost need to like go through a level like a like Star Fox or something then,
yeah.
and you just shoot asteroids or something. That'd be a different game. I would play that game as well, but
No, I'm not. I'm thinking more like Hotline Miami style,
oh, okay.
like into the hotel and like yeah,
Cool.
just like that. Just
So
like
you want an
this.
action sword fighting game basically.
Yes, but rhythm.
Or just a lot of good music in the background.
I mean, I'll time it to the beat.
Yeah. or at least try to.
Close enough.
Cool. So yeah, I'm sure we missed a bunch of rhythm games, but these are a bunch of them that we have played and really enjoyed. Let us know what your favorite rhythm game is.
Yeah, I really want to know, and let us know things like I know that there's some big ones that are a little bit weird that we missed, like Patapon. Yeah, so many others. I'm like totally blanking right now.
This is why we're missing them.
Let us know what you play.
Yep. And yeah, so if you made it this far into the episode, give us a thumbs up. Really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm.
Really
Subscribe
does.
if you haven't, and
Please do.
let your friends know if you think that they would be interested.
Even if you don't think they would, just
Yeah,
give
send
it a
a link.
shot.
You never know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll see you next Wednesday.
See ya.